For decades, Major League Baseball's All-Star festivities were supposed to be harmless fun, light competition designed to showcase athleticism without consequence. That illusion shattered in the summer of 1989, when Barry Larkin's elbow injury turned a playful skills event into a cautionary tale that effectively killed the concept. Larkin arrived in Anaheim as one of the game's brightest young stars. At 25, the Cincinnati Reds shortstop was in the middle of a breakout season that announced him as more than a slick-fielding middle infielder. He was hitting with authority, playing elite defense, and emerging as the emotional anchor of a franchise on the rise. The All-Star Game was meant to be a celebration of that ascent. Instead, it became a detour that nearly derailed it. During the All-Star festivities, Larkin took part in a relay throw skills competition, a fan-friendly event designed to highlight arm strength and precision. Players threw at full effort, trying to impress the crowd rather than preserve their bodies. In the middle of the competition, Larkin felt a sharp pain in his elbow. He had torn a ligament, an injury far more serious than anyone initially realized. The irony was brutal. Larkin didn't get hurt diving into second base or making a desperate throw in a meaningful game. He was injured in an exhibition, one that had no bearing on standings, contracts, or legacies, except his own. The damage sidelined him for most of the remainder of the 1989 season, robbing Cincinnati of its best all-around player and halting what had been a standout year at the plate. The consequences rippled beyond Larkin's stat line. Around the league, players took notice. Skills competitions suddenly looked reckless rather than entertaining. Executives saw the financial risk of star players getting hurt in glorified sideshows. Fans, too, were uneasy. There was no thrill in watching a franchise cornerstone limp away from what was supposed to be baseball's showcase week. While MLB never formally blamed Larkin's injury for scaling back skills events, the shift was unmistakable. Relay throws, velocity contests, and other high-risk exhibitions quietly disappeared. The home run derby survived because its risk profile was lower and its appeal undeniable, but anything involving max effort throwing by position players became taboo. For Larkin, the injury was a frustrating setback, though not a career-defining one. He recovered, regained his form, and eventually built a Hall of Fame resume. But the moment lingered as a reminder of how fragile even elite athletes are, and how little it takes to change league policy. In that sense, Barry Larkin's elbow didn't just interrupt a season. It exposed the danger lurking beneath all-star spectacle and effectively ended an era of skills competitions. One throw, made for entertainment rather than necessity, was enough to convince baseball that some risks simply weren't worth the show.